Warmog Soraka is back and extremely broken. Divine Sunderer has been buffed and many picks are flying under the radar with it. That and so much more as we're excited to share with you all 10 of the most sleeper OP champs and builds for 11.11. Riot has just given us our first look into the Mundo rework, so what are everyone's initial thoughts? They've added a bunch of new and updated elements to his kit, but managed to keep the core theme intact, which is exactly how a rework should be approached. Overall, we think the rework looks pretty solid, but let us know what you guys think down in the comments below. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe to keep up with the meta and all the educational content we produce, and without any further ado, let's get right into it. Sejuani top lane with a Warmog's Rush becomes really nuts for 11.11 due to those buffs. If you didn't read the patch notes, the Warmog's passive will now activate when you achieve 1100 bonus health. This means with a Warmog's and Bammy's Cinder, you'll have that passive come to life super early on in the game. Warmog's is 800 health and Bammy's is 300, so it's the absolute perfect health threshold. You can build the Bommies and then rush Warmog's as your first completed item. On completion, your ability to force these short trades and then back out and heal to full will be so obnoxious for the enemy. The main reason why this health stack build works so great on Sej is due to Sejuani W damage scaling with max health. Back in 11.5, Sejuani W saw a buff to the max health damage ratio going from 5.25 up to 6%, which in turn renders his health stack build even more lethal. You're going to max W out first to spam the ability out for so much damage once you have that Warmog's completed. Second item is a Frostfire Gauntlet, and this is very key on Sejuani since the Frostfire Mythic passive grants you 100 bonus health per every legendary. Third item depends on the game, but a Thornmail will often be the optimal pickup. For runes, take Grasp of the Undying with Demolish, Bone Plating, and Overgrowth. Mana Flow Band and Scorch are the best for secondaries. The Divine Sunderer buffs have opened up a really nice carry build for Poppy top. Sunfire and Frostfire are by far the most popular options on Poppy, however, Divine is now outperforming both for 11.11. It's not just Divine Sunderer though, as you'll transition into a Titanic Hydra second for a full-out Bruiser build. The short cooldown on Poppy Q allows you to get really good use out of the Spellblade passive from Divine. Titanic Hydra lets you mow through waves with ease and gives you amazing side lane pressure. We're seeing lots of Lee Sin top played as of recent, along with Riven and Wukong, so Poppy can be used as a super reliable counter. As long as you're playing off W cooldown, then it's nearly impossible for Lee to ever jump on you with Q. A sample full build would be Divine into Titanic and then Thornmail third. Grasp will work best as the keystone with Shield Bash, Bone Plating, and Revitalize. Pick up Biscuits and Time Warp Tonic for secondaries. And remember, if you want to improve fast and get the rank you've always wanted, then check out our hyper improvement system at skillcap.com. We have professional courses by the top players, Smurf commentaries where a challenger player walks you through how to climb out of every rank from Iron to Diamond, and we upload tons of new exclusive guides to our website each week. In fact, we're so confident you'll improve using our system that if you don't climb at least 5 divisions while actively using Skillcapped, you can claim a full refund, so there's no risk. What are you waiting for? Check out skillcap.com and get the rank you've always wanted. Link in the description below. More commonly seen up in the top lane, but starting to garner more attention as a jungler is Gwen. Blabber is one of the pros who's been spamming Gwen jungle over the past few days and winning at a crazy high rate. The clear is very manageable now after the monster damage nerfs and buff to smite heal. The AoE damage from Q is great for raptors and wolves, while the attack speed steroid from E helps with the single target camps. Be sure to start your E at level 1 as the bonus attack speed and on hit damage will help you much more than Q. Gwen's skirmish potential is really nice due to the short cooldown on Q, tankiness from W, and consistent damage power from E. If you can dodge the enemy jungler's skill shot with E or W, then it becomes really easy for you to win out on the extended fight. The build is a Nashor's Tooth Rush into Riftmaker second and Zanya's or Cosmic Drive third. Conqueror is the best keystone with Triumph, Alacrity, and Last Stand. Sudden Impact and Ravenous Hunter are great for secondaries. Another champion we see more traditionally played as a tank who can shift toward a bruiser build thanks to Divine Sunderer buffs is Volibear. A core build of Divine and Sterix offers Volley lots of health to stay really durable, but is way more carry oriented due to how much more damage you'll be able to deal. Volley W is on a very short cooldown, so the extra burst and sustain you get from Divine's Spellblade passive really helps out in skirmishes. The Divine and Sterix combo provides 800 bonus health in total, which is really nice for Volley W scaling. 6% of Volibear's bonus health is converted into his W's damage. After completing Divine and Sterix, a Dead Man's Plate for some added tankiness can work great third. Press the Attack will be the keystone with Triumph, Tenacity, and Last Stand. Grab Nimbus Cloak and Water Walking for secondaries. A super undervalued mid laner who works great into most meta champs is Kayle. Kayle was just buffed 2 patches back, which makes her an even more valuable pickup. So many melee mids like Sylas, Zed, Yone, and Katarina are being spammed for 11.11, while Kayle is seeing positive results against all 4. Since mid is a much shorter lane than top, it's way more difficult to punish Kayle early on since you don't have an entire lane to chase her down. This allows Kayle to storm past her weakest stage much easier. As long as you can farm up to level 6, then you can completely nullify those assassin mids. The build is a Nashor's Tooth Rush, followed by Riftmaker 2nd and Rabadon's 3rd. The Riftmaker buffs from 11.10 have provided another nice boost to Kayle's power level. Take Press the Attack as the keystone with Overheal, Alacrity, and Last Stand. Resolve secondary with Conditioning and Overgrowth adds another layer to your scaling strength. Another sleeper OP mid that can work so well as a counter to the most played champs is Zac. Solo lane Zac became so much stronger ever since the W base damage buffs. W AP ratio was buffed as well, which has led to the emergence of a new hybrid build. Sylas is by a long shot the most picked mid laner in 11.11, and Zac wins at a crazy rate against him. The consistent damage from W is very surprising, and Zac's gank setup is some of the best for any champ. Long range from E lets you set up ganks without giving them away, and if you can combo with Q afterwards, the CC lock is really great. You'll take Ignite as the secondary summoner spell, and the enemy won't expect how much damage you can deal with an all-in combo at 6. Example full build is Frostfire Gauntlet into Demonic Embrace and Thornmail. Frostfire is really key since Zac has so much health scaling in his kit. Frostfire Mythic passive provides 100 bonus health per each legendary. Runes will be Conqueror with Triumph, Tenacity, and Last Stand. Resolve works best secondary, rolling with Second Wind and Revitalize. Divine Sunderer is back in a big way for Ezreal in 11.11. The extra 2% max health damage on Spellblade proc is super nice, and since Ezreal Q is such a spammable ability, you get so much value out of the buff. Pros like Deft have already started abusing it in solo queue, and the win rate gap between Sunderer and Essence Reaver is pretty crazy. Divine users are winning 53% of the time compared to ER users at 49%. Sunderer has always been a viable option on Ezreal due to the Spellblade passive synergy and added durability. It is so nice to have that extra 400 health to deal with annoying assassin picks. The heal from Sunderer passive is really great as well to help sustain through fights. The buffs this patch have brought the build back into meta, and you should be abusing it before everyone catches on. The rest of the setup is the same as before, with Manamune 2nd and Serilda's Grudge 3rd. Runes are Conqueror with Presence of Mind, Bloodline, and Coup de Grace. Biscuits and Cosmic Insight are the best secondary options. Misfortune is now one of the most sleeper OP marksmen for 11.11 due to a buffed lethality build. Serpent's Fang has even stronger shield busting as a result of the buffs this patch, which makes MF a really great pickup into any enchanter support. Not only does Serpent's Fang reduce the current shield on the opponent, but it also reduces incoming shielding as well. In teamfights, when you're able to apply this Serpent's Fang debuff to multiple enemies with a good ultimate, you get so much value out of the item. Serpent's is such a cheap purchase at only 2,600 gold, so you hit a really early mid-game spike with this build path. Pick up a Duskblade first, second item Serpents, and then Lord Dominik's 3rd. Run Dark Harvest for the keystone with Taste of Blood, Eyeball Collector, and Ravenous Hunter. Secondary runes are from the Sorcery Tree with Absolute Focus and Gathering Storm. As mentioned during the intro, Warmog Soraka is extremely busted, yet still very sleeper OP. You want to start your build off by rushing Shurelya's and then go into Warmog's 2nd. Remember, in order to activate the Warmog's passive, you need 1100 bonus health. Shurelya's combined with Shard of True Ice and Warmog's provide 1075 health, so it's vital you pick up a Dark Seal to push above that 1.1k level. Once you've reached the health threshold, Soraka becomes insanely strong for mid to late game team fights. The luxury of being able to heal to full just by sitting out of combat for a few seconds lets Soraka stay on the map longer and be an absolute unit in those extended fights. One of the main issues of being a squishy enchanter is also shored up by building Warmogs. It's so much more difficult for dive champions to one-shot you, which makes Soraka way more reliable. After completing your Shurelya's and Warmogs, grab a Redemption 3rd. For runes, pick up Summon Aerie with Mana Flow, Transcendence, and Scorch. Bone Plating and Revitalize are the optimal secondaries. And lastly, the final sleeper OP feature of the patch is a new must-buy 3rd or 4th item on supports, being Watchful Wardstone. The item saw some really great quality of life buffs this patch, which make it a much more reliable pickup. The ability to hold 3 control wards instead of 2 is amazing for those late game situations. The new passive on Vigilant Wardstone, where you increase bonus AD, health, ability power, and haste by 12%, is a really great addition. By purchasing Wardstone, it also allows you to complete an extra item, which is insanely strong for later on. Usually as a support, you would have to leave an item slot open to stash control wards, but that's not the case anymore if you purchase Wardstone. All in all, don't sleep on Wardstone for 11.11. It's been pushed to the wayside throughout the entirety of Season 11, but after the changes, it's a legit 3rd or 4th pickup on your supports. And remember, if you want to improve fast and get the rank you've always wanted, then check out skillcap.com, link in the description below. Alright guys, that's going to wrap up everything for this one. We'll be back again next patch with another round of these sleeper OP champs and builds, so don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you all so much for watching, good luck in solo queue, and have a great day.